All right, so today's episode is going to be a little different than what we normally do. I had the idea for this episode when I was visiting my 83-year-old mother at her home. She does not know text messaging. She does not understand it. She does not use it. But she got a text message that basically said that she owed a lot of money in fines and violations due to driving, which she hasn't done for maybe a year now. So she was freaking out, and my wife and I both just kind of like grabbed the phone from her and just said, ignore it, please. Do not touch that. So today we're going to talk about text message, scams, scammers, all that fun stuff. So let's get started. Let's get started. All right, welcome to another episode of Cybersecurity 101. I am Mark Hemingway, and I said I am Mark Hemingway. That works. Creative Content Director here at Archer Energy Solutions. And today, like we discussed in the open, we're going to talk about text message scams. And boy, are there a lot of them. I haven't had the Social Security one in a while, so that's good. You know these, you get them all the time, and there's some of them that I'm going to talk about today that I'm not sure if they're scams, but they sure feel like scams. They sure do. But let's get started. So I've got some here on my computer I've taken pictures of. Let's start with, I live in the state of Oregon, right? So right here we've got where it says here that Oregon Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, right? So apparently I've done something, the Oregon statute 15C 16.003. So first of all, let's take a look right here. Look at this phone number. Look at this. So this is Oregon saying, hey, guess what? You've done something bad. You're in violation. So, but if you go and you search this phone number is a Mexican phone number. So from Mexico, but it's coming from the DMV of Oregon. It's just, there's so many things that kind of point things out. And this is also kind of funny too. If you take a look at this Oregon statute, I can't get things to highlight. Come on. Oregon statute 15 dash whatever. It's a scam. It doesn't even exist. The format does not correspond to the standard numbering system of the Oregon Statutes Administration rules. Appears frequently right here. Appears frequently in scam text messages related to outstanding traffic tickets and violations. There's just so many red flags in this, and I think that it's funny too. Here, the very first thing that they're going to do, the DMV is going to do, is they're going to report me to the DMV that I'm in violation. So the DMV is going to report me to themselves. That's my number one. You're in trouble. Number two, they're going to suspend my registration. Okay, there's so many people driving around with how I don't know. Anyways, these things they have here are ridiculous. They're going to suspend my driver's license for 30 days. Never, ever, ever click these links ever. Double check, double verify. Click on not click on things, but search things like I just did. Look at the phone number. If there's something that's referenced in there, like that 15C, check those type of things out. But anyway, that's the DMV scam. Then there's the toll violation. That's the newest, that's going around. My son, who doesn't drive, got one, and he's like, Dad, I got this text message about a toll violation. I'm like, Jack, you don't even drive, man. So apparently I have a $6.99 toll fee. This is back from May. Clearly I didn't pay it. So, but again, look at the phone number. This +63, our area codes here in the United States don't do this. Just look at what you're dealing with. So Yeah, and it often appears associated with scam attempts. So fake package deliveries. That's the other one, the old UPS crap. I've got something for that too, a little bit here in a little bit. But just I'm sure you've all seen these. But again, don't click on it. Failure to pay within this time frame will result in the following. I'm going to get late fees from $6.99. So pay now and click this link. And if you can't click, and they're very adamant about if you don't written all here, like if you can't click it, copy it, pay. Like they really want to make sure that you can get to this link, because once you get to that link, you're theirs. So let's see what else we got here. These ones I'm not sure about. These people that contact you and like your resume popped up for a background from our recruitment agency. It's very basic, like your particular job is what we're looking for. Well, what is my job and what is it that you're looking for? So I don't know. These things to me are just are scammy. And then I can work 60 to 90 minutes a day. Like, come on. And I get all this, benefits. And then of course, contact me on WhatsApp. That to me is another. I mean, I use WhatsApp to talk to a couple friends of mine, but for anything else outside of anybody that I know, I would never talk to anybody out there. So, and plus, you must be over 25, at least 25 years of age, so that we can take advantage of you. Easy Pass. Again, this is all. Make sure you pay by March 28th, and again, look at the phone number. It's. Why are we contacting us here about all this stuff in the United States from numbers outside of the United States? They're not, and that's the thing. So be aware of things like that. Never click these links. And again, here they are making sure that you copy and paste and you put it in your Safari browser. Make sure just to get you to do all this stuff. And please avoid your immediate. Please settle your toll immediately. Anyway, again, phone number, scam, obviously. Yeah, and this kind of goes back to that other thing with the whole like resume thing. Like, hey, Mark, have you ever considered a business ownership? Like, not anything that you're probably wanting me to do. So, yeah. Again, I don't know if these people are legit. I mean, it's not, the phone number again is. I don't even know where that's out of, but and even if it says reply no to unsubscribe, don't even do that. And just ignore it, report it. Right here at the bottom where it says report junk, and then it'll pop up, and I think you can even report it as like a scam or as fraud or something like that. Here's the U.S. Post. USPS that's got a parcel. These are my favorite ones, and I think I have one for my daughter coming up that she sent me one from school one day about her, a friend of hers. But the fact that the USPS is contacting me on my phone number, like, here, let me skip to the one that my daughter sent. Yeah, so this is the one that I was at home one day, and she sends me, says, hey, this is a friend of mine's. He said that it looked fake, but he didn't know because he was getting a package today, and he put in his info in the actual UPS app, and they gave him a tracking and all that stuff. Wondered if he needed to do anything else, what the deal was with this. But I think I have a thing of it. Yeah, here we go. So the U.S. So this was the one that was going around where the UPS people were contacting, supposedly. They had your phone number, but they didn't have your address. They didn't have your zip code. Like, come on. So USPS package has arrived at the warehouse and cannot be delivered due to incomplete address information. Please confirm your address at the link, within 12 hours. Like, hurry up. So again, all this crap, see where they want to make sure that you copy, paste, all this crap. But I think I wrote back to her. I was like, spam, 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 scam, scam, scam. I said, don't click on it. Walk away. If he's not expecting a package, which he was, I must not have picked up on that. Walk away. Even if he is expecting a package, don't click on it. I said it's bad. I said, think about it this way: USPS, they're all about addresses. but they don't have his address, but they have his phone number. I said, big red flag. So she said, thank you. They obviously didn't click on it. I'm assuming he got his package, but which was completely unrelated anyway. So yeah. And I think I have one here from my friend Scotty, who used to work here at Archer. He was here like the first 6 months when him and I started together. And he got one kind of like I had one back in like a year or so ago from Stacy, which is my boss. He says, I just got a text message from Stacy asking me to hit him up when I'm free. And so he hasn't worked at this point. He hadn't worked here for like 7 years at this point. He said he needs something done. I'm not sure I've ever really talked to the guy because back when we first started, we never saw, at that point we hadn't met really a lot of the people that worked here. So I don't think he ever met Stacy face to face. I said, hopefully he doesn't need me to remember a laptop password from 8 years ago. And I told him, let me see here, I think I got a better view of this one. I said, make sure that it's not a scam because I had already been hit with one. I said, I got a fake text from a scammer from Stacy wanting me to verify with him. So and then I asked him, I said, do you want me to verify with him that he actually texted you? And then he wrote to me, ironic, one of the partners of a security firm is getting spoofed. And I laughed at that. I said, what did it say? So then he sent me what it actually was. And it was, again, this is basically the same thing that I got, which was like, hey, Scotty, give me a heads up. If you're free, I need you to do something, Stacy. So it was the same thing that happened to me, but I was caught off guard and I just responded like, hey, because I just saw, hey, this is Stacy, and I didn't look at anything. I just responded to it, but he was like something seems fishy about that. So he just basically said, I'm not going to bother answering it. I said, yeah, that's a scam. Anytime I've ever talked to him, he's always emailed me, which is what he was saying. I said, yeah. I said, it doesn't even sound like him. That phone number, plus I said the phone number is weird, scam. Anyway, so apparently he must have people misspell his name all the time. So he said, yeah, he says, maybe I should have been tipped off by the fact that they spelled my name right. So there's that. So that's not there. So this one here was just somebody was just texting me, and I just started getting playful with them, and then I kind of walked away from it. I think they kind of pretend like they're sending a message to somebody, and then the wording of it is just all messed up. Hi, Marissa, tomorrow you must go to the office to meet with the clients in New York because you receive them every time and they like your reception. And I was like, I couldn't resist. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to respond to this. I said, can't wait. Thank you for this opportunity. And of course, immediately, and I didn't respond with, oh, you have a wrong number. I just said, hey, excited about this. And they're like, I'm sorry, I just checked carefully and found that I entered a wrong number. I hope I didn't disturb your good day. Please accept my apology. And I just wrote back LOL because I thought it was pretty funny that this person was, whatever. And then they said, thank you for your understanding and reply, which was just LOL. You are a kind person. My name is Judy. What is your name? And I think I just was like, you know what? I don't want to play. Which this next text message, which will be what we wrap up on, is one that I actually kind of just kept going at just for fun. But anyway, I didn't respond at that point. All right, so now on to the mother of all of my favorite of all the text messages that I've gotten recently. This person I decided to just keep going back and forth with, and it was a lot of fun. Kind of got a little weird in some places, but anyways. So out of the blue, I get a text message, and it's a local number, so whatever. Hello, what are doing? So let me kind of take a step back and to let you know how I kind of approach this. A friend of mine named Phil, who does the voiceovers, a lot of the voiceover work for a lot of the videos that we do here at Archer, he used to get emails that he would respond to that were, these improper, like poorly written English emails, and he would respond to them as horribly as they wrote to him. So that was my motivation and my drive for behind all this. Anyways, so hello, what are doing? And I said, nothing doing. What are doing you? I'm Tina. I'm Tina. I'm Tina. Is this Jane's phone number? I'm in working. Jane? No. I'm in working too, with 3 O's. Ah, sorry. It's my bad. Added the wrong number. Hope you don't mind me. I hope it does not bother you. Sometimes it's hard to read these. Me don't mind. No. Okay, it is. Have day good. So, and not to mention we're trying to have a civilized conversation here, and both of us sound like a bunch of idiots. And then she writes, by the way, where do you live? I live in California. I said, I live too, 3 O's in California. I'm in Santa Monica. Any day you pass here, don't forget to send me a message. I want to invite you for a dinner. Anyway, nice to meet you. I'm Tina, and you're... Wrong, anyways. And then I write, I like dinner. I'm Treven. I don't know. I think I took a tree and Vin Diesel and threw it together and called it a name. She says, ooh, cool name. And this is where it gets fun. She goes, it's me. So this is her. And so then I come back with, this is me. Anyway, so Treven, so she's, still intrigued by, lazy, crazy-eyed guy from Mr. Deeds. Are you older or younger than me? I'm 34 years old. I write back, older. She goes, don't think like this. Age is just a number. Sometimes I can love an older person. He knows how to care. Do you have Telegram? So now she's already moving me over to some other platform. I said no, and then I said Carpe Diem. So I think this is where I started kind of like getting bored with it, and so I started doing movie quotes. So I have no, and then I said Carpe Diem, and I said what we have here is failure to communicate. Let's see. So now I decide to use Telegram for my personal because it's safe than other app, and it's easy to connect with my family and friends. So I want to keep in touch with you on it as well. Oh, that's so nice. So if you don't mind, can you spend your time about 2-3 minutes for download Telegram? It's easy for us sharing daily picture or call there sometime. That sounds exciting. Let's see. So I continued on with my movie quotes. You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am. I probably got quiet for a little bit. And I did the taxi driver. You talking to me? And they responded and even churned into it and said, yes. And then I said, that'll do, pig. That'll do. Then, of course, she's continuing on with her like, hey, look, here's what Telegram looks like if you put it on your phone. So I continued on with, nobody puts baby in a corner. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. Okay, so they're probably thinking this person's getting a little nuts, but that's all right. That's what I'm here for. When you got it, just tell me. So they're still like, thinking I'm downloading this Telegram thing. Send me your username and add me on there. Just keep swimming from Finding Nemo. Inconceivable. Rosebud. Stella. Streetcar Named Desire. And then I went into this thing, which I can kind of graze over, but I did this whole pretend thing where somehow the police had gotten into this chat. I didn't know. I was just trying to scare them in some way. So just pretended I was the police, and they didn't really respond to a lot of stuff. They just kind of got quiet. Just pretending that I was like, hey, I'm the police officer's on his way to the house. We have a lock-in location and all that stuff. I don't know. If you want to pause this and read it, you can. But so anyway, it's this whole thing about like. So anyway, we finally get to this point where I'm like, okay. Are you ready to talk to me for real? I said, so what's the long game with your scam? So they, of course, write back with bleep you. So, all right. So tell me what it is. I would like to know. What do you do to people? I said, don't get quiet now. Tell me what your scam is. I said, I'll make you famous. I can put you on TV. There you go. What do you get? What do you get them to send you on Telegram? Money? Tell me. Man to man. This is where I'm letting them know, I know you're not this girl. Come on. I said, you're a chicken. I said, hiding away, pretending to be someone you're not. So I don't know how many days passed, and I wrote back again, and I said, what's a scam? Tell me. And then I just started using movie quotes again. May the force be with you. There's no place like home. I'm the king of the world. Then they just wrote a number, 541 or 514. And I put another carpe diem, seize the day, make your day extraordinary. I said, oh, the scam is 514? Tell me about that. Now's your chance to make a difference. So then they're going back to my whole thing about the police fake thing. The house number is 514. I said, is that your house? Yes. So you want to tell me more about the scam? Let's see, you want to tell me about the scam you're doing? And then he wrote a bad word. And I said, cute. I said, but what's the scam? I said, try to answer me like an adult, not a child. They did some kind of little thing. I don't know what that was. I'm not going to click on it again. I said, what do you have them give you on Telegram? Family. So they're wasting my time. I'm still wasting their time, so it's great. No big, great, happy ending to this, but I said, who's the poor girl's photo that you found on the internet? You're dragging her through this too. And then they wrote say, so I wrote the word the. And then they said, okay, bye, I'm busy. And I laughed at that because busy doing what? You really think that what you're doing is important? And I said, you're a joke. So anyway, be careful. I mean, you can play around with these people if you want to, but just be careful. Me and a couple other people that I know, we kind of do this for fun. Just why not waste their time? My whole thing is if you're spending time talking to me, you're not scamming somebody else. Because I know that you're not going to get anything out of me. But anyway, so that was just a couple of the things I wanted to share today. Text messages, you got to be careful. You can't trust anything that's out there. Obviously, there's a lot of people understand that these are a problem and that you shouldn't, just ignore them and move on. But there's a lot of people that don't. And there's a lot of people now that are older that have cell phones, and this to them is a new experience that they're not used to, that they don't understand the technology that's in their hand, and they think that everything that comes across it is true and is real, because back in their day they didn't really have these people that were out trying to. I mean, I'm sure they had con artists and things like that were going door to door at that time, but anyways, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you got a good chuckle out of some of that. Anyway, we'll be back with more episodes of Cybersecurity 101 in the future. If you've got any ideas for episodes, or if you've got things you want me that are like this that I can scroll through and that I can show, examples of things that you should look out for, of other things, anything, send it my way. Give me a little shout out there in the comments down in YouTube, and we'll get that going. But as usual, make sure to follow us on our YouTube channel at ArcherU, and on our social medias, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And until next time, stay safe. Don't do what I did. Don't respond to people. Just ignore it, delete it, report it as trash. And next time, we'll see you next time. That was a really, really terrible little outro. But anyway, all right. Bye.
You can catch new episodes every Thursday. Follow us on YouTube at ArcherU. Like, subscribe, and click the bell notification to be notified when a new episode has been released. Is there a question or a topic you'd like Mark to address on an upcoming episode of Cybersecurity 101? Leave them in the comments below and check back in every Thursday for a brand new episode.